Okay, and Math Skills 2, we're going to talk about our next lesson, which is called Addition and Subtraction Patterns. And part of this involves a term which we call inverse operations. And inverse operations is simply this. It sounds kind of intimidating, but it's really not. For example, if I had 5 plus something equals 7. Now, I could pretty easily figure this out mentally or by trial and error. Let's see, 5 plus 1, no, that wouldn't give me 7. 5 plus 2, and I'd see that the question mark would be a 2 because 5 plus 2 is 7. But we can also use what we call inverse operations. And notice in this problem we're adding. Well, the opposite of adding is to subtract. And I could take 7 minus 5, which is 2, and right away see that my answer, or the question mark, is a 2. So inverse operations sometimes help us to find the answers to problems faster. So I want you to make a note on this. The inverse operations are this then. Addition and subtraction are inverse operations because one is the opposite of the other. Division and multiplication are inverse operations because one is the opposite of the other. Now really, we're going to be working with these two here today. So let's take a look at our first example, example 1, and make a note on this. With the directions, write the directions down also. Find the missing number, and what I have here is 563 plus a, and the only thing I don't have is we need to have that be equal to something, so we'll just say that it's equal to 700. We'll just throw a number in there. Now, they're adding. The inverse operation of addition is what? Subtraction. So instead of using trial and error to figure out what number I could add to 563, let's try this. Let's see if this would make sense. Let's take 700, the answer, and subtract 563. Because subtraction is the opposite or the inverse operation of addition. And I'm going to go through my, my borrowing process. And I get 137. Now, would it make sense that 563 plus 137 would be our 700. Let's see. And we find out it is. So my answer then is A is equal to 137. So it works out where I can get that answer then. And we use the inverse operation of addition to get that, which is subtraction. Let's take a look at example 2. Now in example 2 it says same type of problem, find the missing number. We want to find out what K is. So it's asking what number plus 123 is 522. Now, first of all, let's try the inverse operation of addition, which is subtraction, right? So let's take our answer, our larger number, and subtract 123. And again, I'm going to have to borrow. And we get 399. Now let's check that. Let's see if K is 399. So let's take 399 plus the 123, and let's see if we get 522. And we do. So it checks out. So K then, I would finish this off by writing K is equal to 399. And I'm going to go back a screen, and yeah, I just want to make sure that we ended it off with what our actual answer was. All right, in example 3 now, find the missing number. Now this time we're subtracting. They want to know what number minus 364 would give you 376. Now what's the opposite of subtracting? What's the inverse operation of subtracting? And you should say it's addition. So let's try adding these two. Let's take the 376 and the 364 and let's add them together. And let's try that and see if that works. Let's see, 13, 14. I get 740. So let's check it to see if m is 740. So if this is right, I should be able to take 740 minus 364, and let's see if I get the 376. A lot of borrowing, which is fine. and I get 376. So it checks out. So M is equal to 740. All right, let's do one more. Now, just glancing at this quickly here, this one is probably going to be a little different. Now, they want to know what number could I take away from 741? So 741 minus what would give me 372? Well, they're subtracting. Let's see if we can use the inverse operation of addition to get that answer. So let's try taking our 372 plus our 741, and I get 1,113. Let me check that just to make sure I did my math right, and that's right. So 1,113. Now, already I can see that if I take 741 minus 1,113, there's no way I'm going to get 372. Because if you tried this on your calculator and you took 741 minus 1,113, you're going to get a negative number. So this time, our inverse operation didn't work. Well, your second option then, okay, so our next option then is, all right, they're subtracting, right? Let's subtract the two numbers that they give us. Let's try this. Let's take 741, and then let's actually use the same operation and subtract the two numbers and see if that'll work. And let's see, 9, 6, and 3, 369. Let's try this. Let's see if 741 minus 369 gives me the 372. And it does, doesn't it? So F is equal to 369. So on this problem, we tried the inverse operation of addition first. That didn't work. So then we actually tried the operation they were using with the two numbers, which is subtraction, and simply subtracted the two numbers. Biggest number minus lowest number to get our solution. All right, example 5. Now there's actually two examples on this one, and these are calculator ones. You can use your calculator on these. So you have this example and you have this example. The thing I want to show here is this one's pretty straightforward. I mean, you just punch in 60 on your calculator, and then you'd add 49.49 to get your answer in dollars. Okay? So I'm not going to finish that one out because you can do that. Now, this one is the one really that I'm getting to. I can't just take 3.64 plus 52 plus 9. That's a problem because this is why. This is $3.64. So I need to make sure everything is in dollars and cents. Because if I punch in 52, then I would be saying $52, and that's not what it is. So I need to think of this as 3.64, which is dollars and cents, plus, now I need to write this in dollars and cents. That's 0.52, 52 cents. Looks like that. Plus, is $9 in dollars and cents? Yeah, you could think of it as 9 or 9.00, however you want to think about it. And then you'd add them together. So the point of this being is, if you have numbers that are in dollars and cents like these are, you got to make sure that numbers like this or values like that are represented in dollars and cents. That would be 0.52, or in other words, 52 cents. So our topic was called addition and subtraction patterns, namely using inverse operations.